In '64, Charles Drew, they had on Friday was Mexican Day. The blacks,
Cinco de Mayo or Mexican Day?
they called it Mexican Day because the blacks would fight the Mexicans.
For the dime moves and the lokes, for the 6-4s on spokes, for the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole, for the homegirls with the scrap game, little homies that gang bang, from Pelican Bay to YA, rearrange your mind frame. Yeah, I know what you've been through, shit you had to go tend to. Your mama gave birth on turf, I know them killers you kin to. This for the lost generation, broke as hell, man.
Lifting weights and I was on swole, they start calling me Big Miz.
Original stutter box, East Side 5, who's Pablo Bishop, Mill City Gangster Bloods.
Kev Mac video, you know this is for sure. Kev Mac video, open your soul.
This is only the beginning.
They jump on the Mexican, okay? And I had a school mate in science class. This desk in science class, you had these high desks just like this. And he was my schoolmate. He sat right there, and he always helped me. You know, maybe I was a little slow, but he always helped me. And he lived on Compton, right across from Charles Drew, on Compton in 87th. And he raised pigeons, okay? And I'd go over there and see his birds and all. We had a bird cage there. We had one over there. We had birds. Anyhow, so Friday, they want to beat this kid up. I'm like, no, that's my little buddy. So we and Charles Drew had 2 levels, tiers, right? And they chasing little Frank down the tier, 2nd level. That's prison talk, tier. But they chasing him down the 2nd level, and I stop and turn around and look, and he's running toward me, and he run up and run behind me. You know, he's standing behind me, and they stopped. When the group, it was a crowd of running after him, all brothers. It's Friday, they want to beat him up this morning time before lunch. I'm like, y'all ain't, no, he's my buddy. And I don't know these thugs, you know, we was, and they all, I call them thugs because they was, a lot of them from Watts and they looked tough, you know, they were toughies. But since he was with me, they said no. And I let him know, y'all leave him alone. And then a brother that was in the crowd with him, Monkey Man, Thomas Lewis. You remember Monkey Man? He used to suck them 2 fingers. He sucked them till they were so messed up, messed his teeth up. He got on my side. He said, Monson say y'all can't do it, y'all. And he lived down the street here. He jumped off the freeway. How did he get killed? He died young. He died real young. Anyhow, but they called him Monkey Man because he looked like a monkey. But
so look, you're actually breaking down the beginning of the animosity between blacks and Hispanics. These are the seeds that are being planted.
Oh, yes.
Was this an annual holiday that they did back then?
Every Friday.
It was a weekly holiday.
It was a weekly thing, yeah.
I wonder why these Mexicans don't like it.
Oh, God, yeah. Wait. And so, but Frank knew he could hang with me, they wouldn't bother him. And then the people would say, Frank could walk by himself on Friday. That's Craig's partner. That's Craig's buddy, you know? And they wouldn't bother him, okay? Now, ain't that something? And I didn't realize I had that kind of pull. And it starts sinking in, you know what I mean? It starts saying, damn, you know, I used to live in my bunk bed and think, why they afraid of me? Why they listening to me? I'm one against all them, you know?
Are you already weightlifting at this time?
I'm weightlifting. You remember '63, when they put the weights in my hand, and I'm 15, I guess, and they
You're 13.
Yeah. I know I'm speeding up. And at Charles Drew, the vice principal, and Charles Douglas, high jumper he won a high jumper in 60-something in the Olympics. He was the boys' gym coach. Well, they told me I had to bring my parents to school because they had a random search. And when they went into my locker, they found all these muscle books. I had bodybuilding books that I would buy with my allowance, okay, over there in Huntington Park. and I would draw gladiators, okay? And you see a picture of me with the thing on with the medallion, because I was fascinated by the big guy. I wanted to be big now. After Johnny Boy and Bramer Burns put these weights in my hand, and I started getting tight. I'd work out over there and walk home, and my mother would be so pumped up, and I'd feel so good, okay? And they had my mother and stepfather come sit in the vice principal's office. And look, and now we coming from the South, my mother, and that white man, y'all excuse my French, that white man is telling my mama that, no, he can't be working out, something's wrong with him. He don't want to go to class, he want to spend time in the gym with that universal machine. They had a nice machine. And we think it's something wrong with that. This is bad behavior. My mother said, okay. And on the walk, we walked up the street, come out the back gate, Charles Drew, and on the walk home, she said, "Fool with them, the heck with them, let's go buy you some weights." She went to Sears and bought me a set of plastic weights after the school had said something was wrong with me.
Wow.
At this time, tell me how tall you are, how much you weigh, what size your arms was. Yes.
At 14,
Okay. At 40. Okay. I didn't start noticing until, okay, you say I'm 14. I had 14s. At 15, I had 15. At 16, I had 16. At 17, I had 17.
You're measuring yourself.
I'm measuring myself, and the front yard, I used to have to cut it with the push mower. Okay, back then, And on Saturday, I'd be out there with no shirt on, pushing, cutting that grass, sweating, causing accidents.
People are under the impression that the East Side is poor, but you're saying your mom bought you weights. What did she do for a living back then?
What did Mama do? My mother was a reader. She was a fortune teller.
Really?
And did that up and, she read the cards up until almost the end.
She made enough money off of reading cards to buy this house.
Her and James. And my stepfather was a junk man. You see, at 13, 14, 15, 16, until I said no more, I used to have to go on the truck with him going in trash cans. Recycling, they call it now. But back then, we called it junking.
Sounds like Cal's father.
Okay? And look, and back here, one time they did a demolition job, and they tore a house down that had stucco. And he dumped all that shit back here. You remember, we had all this white rocks. And this ain't no junkyard. But I used to, Mama, why are you bringing that stuff home? And we'd sit back here, you two, with a little bitty knife, cleaning copper wire. Remember? We cleaned copper wire till our hands was raw, because you get good money off of copper.
To this day, they still run around trying to strip buildings of copper.
I'm telling you, that's what we were raised on. Okay, and I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed of doing that junking. Okay.
Where was your mom reading cards at? Here or somewhere?
Yeah, right here in that house up there.
So strangers would come to the house, and your mom would drink bombs and
look. I come home one day, Ray Charles' wife sitting up in there. Okay, and then one time, what's it with the D-boys?
She must have been good.
What's his name? Yeah. Barry White. He'd have his party, and she said they invite her to come and be a reader at the party in the backyard. Barry White. Okay. Yeah, she had a good clientele. Yeah. She made her money.
How long did she do that for?
Forever. Look. In 1959, when we lived on San Pedro, the Kirby vacuum cleaner man, a Jewish guy, selling Kirby vacuum cleaner. Kirby or Hoover? Hoover. They still got Hoover vacuum cleaner? Mm-hmm. It was a Hoover. Selling her vacuum, and he taught her how to read the cards. And he taught her how to hypnotize people. Okay? And I would always be sitting there watching, and she, baby, let me try it on you.
Really?
And she hypnotized me a whole bunch of times.
It worked.
It worked. Okay. Yes. Now, 14, 15, after I done discovered that I had a little say, the people would listen to me.
How tall are you and how much do you weigh when you found that out?
Okay, in junior high school, I was, when I got to Fremont, I weighed 175 pounds. Played football 175. So, you know, you say 150 at junior high, like that. Because I don't remember. I really don't remember.
Okay.
And I'm 6'2" now. But we say I was 5'8", 5'9". I can remember saying that when they would ask me, how tall are you? 5'8", 5'9". And I had big brothers. I had two big brothers. I had a cousin named Brother Theodis, and we'd spend the night. And they always gang up on me. And they would, I had the flu one time, and I got real sick. And they teased me. They used to call me Piggy, because I was chubby. And they would say, Piggy had the flu. Piggy had the flu. They would mark me for a long time. But once I put those weights in my hand, I lost that Piggy thing, okay? And so when they get on me, I'd fight both of them, the two older brothers.
What's the age difference between you and the older brothers? How much older are they than you?
Okay, if I'm 70, Salam might be 73. He just had a birthday, June 27th.
Joe 74.
And Joe, yeah, that's something like that. I know Salam just turned 72.
72 or 73?
Yeah.
74.
Because he might have lied and said 73, because it didn't add up to me when I was thinking. Okay.
Are they Monsons?
No, he and I are the only two Monsons.
You two are the only Monsons.
And the other Munson, tall. And tall, we called him too tall. He was like 6'5".
6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. At this time, the beginning of all this weightlifting in this backyard, are there anybody else in the neighborhood into weightlifting? Or you
Oh,
are
yeah,
the mecca of weightlifting?
Well, Johnny Boy was the mecca. Him and Raymond Burns. Okay. Like I said, I used to go over there and work out with them. And then I started creating my own stuff. Building my own stuff out of plywood 2x4s. And Donnie Boy down the alley, 85th Street, Donnie Boy caught some kind of like dramatic fever, okay? And he got sick for 6 months, a year. And when I went to go see him, his mother said, you got to stand in the alley and talk to him, like that's the chain link fence, you got to stand in the alley, social distancing. Talk to him through the bedroom window, because his immune system is so down. But looking at him, he was already a skinny kid, and looking at him in the window, he was so skinny, he caved in, and he could hardly talk. His voice was real little.
So there wasn't older people in the neighborhood weightlifting before
Oh,
you
no.
guys? You guys are the ones that kicked this off.
Yes, there wasn't nobody. No, right next door, Charles Wright, they called him Shitty Freddie. When we moved here, he had a real nice hoopty, 55 Chevy, gold with black interior, lower. He gave me my first reefer and my first Red Devil. And he introduced me to John Coltrane, Miles Davis, Herbie Mann, all them, West Montgomery. You remember, well, the 50s and early 60s, black people were into jazz, okay, in the beatnik era, okay, and Charles Wright, his nickname was Shitty Freddie, and he talked to you like, what's happening? He was so cool, so hip.
Two questions. What's the Red Devil, and why'd you guys call him Shitty?
He was Shitty Freddie because he burned his mama. he burned his mother. He steal from his family. He was Shitty Freddie. Bird of Slauson gave him that name. Okay? Shitty Freddie.
Bird from Slauson frequented this area?
Passed by the street all the time. Look, when I'm sitting on that wall when y'all walked up, I used to wave at Bird off because he'd drive by in one of them old cars. 39 Chevy, 39 Buick, a Hudson Fastback. He had a whole bunch of old cars. And he'd ride by and he's sitting low. He was always styling. And I'd wave up at him and he'd blow the horn, toot, toot. So and that just gave me my props that Bird recognized me, you know.
Why was Bird so important? Why his recognition of you?
Okay, in my book, I talk about first time I ever laid eyes on Bird. The Manchester Theater, it was on Manchester and Broadway, and my mother used to take us to the theater with her, when she wanted to go. And she took us to go see, this particular time, Lena Horne. What do you call it? What's the name of it? Imitation of Life. Okay? You remember that movie? How could you not? You know that movie?
The old movie.
Yeah.
Black and white.
Imitation of Life with Alana Turner. Okay? And she had a black maid, and the maid had a baby girl, and the baby girl looked white. And the baby girl didn't want the black doll. And the baby girl didn't want nobody to know her mama was black. That kind of movie.
I think I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, Imitation of Life. Remember, look it up when you have a chance. Watch that movie. See, Big Craig told me to watch this. Anyhow, so my mama take us up there to go see this movie. And it's...
What year is this we're talking about?
This is 63, 60. Well, the movie came out in 59, 60, okay? But you know, when you get to the black neighborhood, it's about 2 years old back then, okay? Yeah. So when we get to the theater, who's standing out front, posted up, with a Hamburg on, with his high water pants, suspenders, high top biscuits. You know what biscuits are? Stacey Adams, shining like new money, and he's clean, and he got a 37, 39 old gangster car sitting in front with the suicide doors open, and a beautiful Mexican girl sitting in the back seat, Charlita. Okay.
I love the Mexican girl.
Yeah, and she had her hair bouffant up, and look, ruby red lipstick, and I'm looking at this girl. My mama's going in the theater with Joe and Salam, and I'm the youngest, and I'm looking at this. I'm mesmerized, because he's a real gangster. I've been watching James Cagney on television, because every night, late night, you could watch James Cagney, Humphrey Bogart, and Edward G. Robinson. But here's a black man. Booted, and hat leaned, and gave me and I was like this, and he looked at me and gave me some recognition.
At the time, did you know who he was?
Didn't have no idea, okay? But every time I'd go to the theater, he'd be posted up out there. And so, don't know how I got his name, but see, Bird had that look. They called him Bird because he looked like a bird, okay? He had a bird feature a little bit. So, I'm like, I want to be like that. I said that, my mama slapped me upside the back of my head. Ow! I want to be like that dude, you know, that man.
Where was this theater at again? What street?
Let's see, Firestone turned into Manchester. Manchester and Broadway, okay? And we had the Manchester Theater here, very well lit up at night. That was the black Mecca right there.
The Manchester Theater was closed down in 1967. The mayor of Los Angeles blamed youngsters throughout the city of Los Angeles for their rowdy and boisterous conduct in motion picture theaters throughout the city. Unlike most theaters and drive-ins, the Manchester Theater reopened 2 years later.
Yeah. And then on Broadway around the corner had another theater called the AAA. They called it AAA because you could see 3 movies, okay? Now, back then, you know, my mama get Joe, that's my oldest brother, $1, and he take me, Salam, and him. We go to the movie, see the movie, and have popcorn, and stop on the way back and get chicken wings. There was a chicken wing place right there, and we'd walk home from there all the way home. Okay.
How far west did you guys venture out as kids? At that time, what was the border where you guys said we can't go beyond this point? Going westward.
Well, as I got at that point, I didn't go too far. I went to the Pueblos. I went to South Park, where the businessman hung out. And my brother Joe took me, and I was with Linda, my cousin, and Theodis, and my other brother Salam. And the businessman wanted to jump on us. And we used to like to go over there and hang out because that was Daddy Robert's spot. Daddy Robert is my daddy's name. So that was his spot as a young man. And the businessman, that was Cartoon, and that's the only businessman I remember. And they said they'd leave us alone, but they had to initiate one of us into the gang so we could have rite of passage, okay? My brother Joe, no. Salam, no. I said, I'll do it. And so that means I had to go into the boys' bathroom, and 4 or 5 of them would line up on this side, 4 on that side, and you had to walk through the gondola, okay? And while they beating you up. And I said, I'll do it. And I come in, because I come through that, and I fought them off. And when I got to the outside of it, I was jumping up and down. I made it, you know. And my cousin Linda, her and I talk about that right now today. Okay, Linda Jean, she live in where she live? Redlands?
Who?
Linda. Upland? Upland?
Did you follow up on this and start hanging with business?
No,
or this
no.
was one time thing?
I did that, but I did it at one time initiation, but then we could go over there every weekend, and we were cool.
So you guys are straight East Side kids. You guys didn't go past the Harbor Freeway. You guys stayed in y'all's
Yeah,
zone.
we stayed in. After I became 17, we went to Sportsman Park. Okay, that was up on Imperial and something, Century and something, and wreaked havoc over there. Because they would have Hunter Hancock record hops. Okay, you heard of them, right? And I can remember me parking the hoopties and walking up to the door, and somebody hollering, "The Avenue's here, the Avenue's here," and people start scatting.
Many law enforcement agencies and newspaper journalists believe the Avenues gang evolved into one of the largest gangs in the city, but it now began calling themselves Crips. In the early 1970s, police estimated its membership was around 800 to 900 strong.
Let's rewind a little bit. I want to. What year were you at Fremont High?
1767.
Where were you at in 1965?
Charles Drew.
What was your experience during the Watts Riots in 1965?
Ooh-wee, ooh-wee,
Do you have any memories of the
course.
Watts Riots?
Many people blame the Watts Riot on the growth of several gangs, made up of unemployed youth, juvenile delinquents, and older men with criminal records. Specifically named were the Red Devils, Black Shirts, and the Slauson Street Gang. These gang members were blamed for spreading the rioting in the other sectors of South Central Los Angeles.
Right down the street, 82nd and Central, the tanks rolled down. Okay, National Guard come through. And they come through, and they're clearing the streets. And my mother says, "Let's go see." And my mother take us, the older boys, and we go down 82nd up to Central to go see the tanks and all the bush. And the National Guard hit my mother with the M16. "Get off the street, niggas!" Straight out, okay? Now, mind you, I'm an East Side kid. Only affiliation with the white people is my school teacher and the police. I ain't got no affiliation. Who I know that's white? You know what I mean? I ain't got no affiliation with no white folks.
Our Italian buddies on the corner right here.
But we looked at them as us. it was black Negroes. I mean, they was white Negroes. Anyhow, because they was cool. They were just like us. But here, these white boys, these are boys, you know, because they're young National Guard youngsters. And these young hit my mother, and I ran up. My mother, no, baby. These motherfuckers got guns, you know. And then, sitting on that wall, you remember in the Watts Riot, they created the curfew. And I told you, Firestone Station right around the corner. When I'm sitting on that wall, and the Firestone coming back and forth on Hooper, Gunsmoke. You remember Gunsmoke, the movie? And when they on the stagecoach, the shotgun, the guy riding up there with the shotgun, make sure nothing happened to the driver, right? And he ride with the shotgun like this, right? Well, when the Watts Riot, the police coming up and down the street with 3 shotguns out the window. 1 passenger and 2 in the back with the shotgun pointed out the window like this. Okay? Yes.
How far did the loot come down? Did it stop at Firestone or did it cross?
Oh, no. They looted. They burned up Central. We had a white front store. They burned all that up. No, they tore everything up.
Did the Monson family participate?
Yeah, my mother said, "Let's go." And we went down to, the first one, we went down to 57th in Compton. And they were coming out the liquor store and all the little black-owned businesses. One lady got a sofa on her back running down the street. And I'm like, somebody carrying, one man and woman, they at the end of the refrigerator. He carrying the front, she carrying the back. And they running down Compton. I'm serious, okay? And we sitting in, James had a Pontiac, that old brown Pontiac, kind of cream color. We sitting in the Pontiac watching, what did we do? Mama said, "Go in the store, let's get something." I went there and got the whole bread rag. I come out with the whole bread rag. And James opened the truck and I just dumped it in there. Okay, we stole food.
The media likes to paint the Watts Riot as a bunch of thugs and gang members that did all the loot.
It's people. Mom and dad. Mom and dad, it was families.
It was the whole community.
It was the community. Look. I'm 70 years old. You had to have been there to witness that era of how doggish the people were. Okay, my backyard. That bush wasn't there, and that gate that we walked in wasn't there. We had a low gate, okay, when you come in. At that time, that was my bedroom right there. And I could look out that bedroom window all the way to the alley. My homeboys would come by, Johnny Boy, Raymond Burns. Mon, Big Mon, come on, let's go work out. Mon, they call me. And I stick my head. You didn't have bars back in them days. Okay, when I came home from the pen, that's when we had bars. I'm like, damn, y'all got bars on the house.
Is that your nickname, Mon?
That's my last name, Monson. So it was short. Mons was short for Monson. Everybody called me Big Mons, Big Mons. So they hollering out, and the Mons, you coming out? Come on out, let's go work out. And I stick my head out the back window. I say, okay, I'll be there. And then we walk on to Johnny Boy's work out. But then as time progressed, the police, I'm back here working out. The police would drive by, the sheriff, stop right there. Monson, we gonna get your big black ass. Right? And my mother put her head out the window. Leave him alone. Leave my boy alone. He ain't bothering nobody. I'm back here working out. Okay? That's how they was back then. Now, another time, I'm sitting on the front porch. The police, the sheriff, they pull up, stop right in front of the house. White boys, got his gloves on, cut off fingers with the cut off. And he said, Monson. I said, oh, what y'all want? I'm sitting on the steps, drinking a soda pop. He said, they tell me you from Arkansas. He said, I'm an Arkansas boy too. We whoop niggas in Arkansas. He said, I'm gonna catch you one day. Straight out. My mother holler out the door, leave him alone. Leave my boy alone. She'd holler right. I'm like, I ain't going nowhere, Mom. I'm sitting right here. But yes. And then they arrested me one time. They busted me for 3 joints. I had 3 joints in my pocket. It really ain't enough to go to jail, but you go to jail back there for 3 joints.
Do you still smoke weed today?
No, hell no. No.
The reason why I was going to ask you, was there a different high from the weed of the 60s
I can't
to the
smell
weed today?
the way it smells now. Because my neighbor, he used to stay in the bottom apartment. And when I come through the yard, damn, that shit don't. And he's a vet. He's in a wheelchair, so he smoke all the time. Ooh, that shit smells strong. It don't smell like weed. But look, you see young kids that go up and don't come down now. They could smoke it one time, and they never come back. Okay? You see them in the street, these young kids in their early 20s, and their mind is gone. That's from the new designer drugs and the weed. Because they smoking weed like crazy. But it ain't weed. I don't know what that shit is, okay?
All right, back to the 3 joints in your pocket.
Okay. Police bust me. I'm with the homeboys, and they stop us. I got 3 joints. So they put me in the car, sheriffs. And police says, I'm going to take these 2, and you take the little one. You could keep the little one, but I'm going to keep these 2 big fat ones. I said, okay, as long as I ain't got to go to jail, right? They say, but first, and the Firestone, when they go around the corner through the Twilight Zone, Firestone's to the police station to your left, to your right is an alley. You know that alley? They went that way. I said, oh shit. Okay? And I'm doing this. See, I'm trying to get that, do that. Because I always dump my false teeth. I got a false teeth here. And I dump it in my shirt. Because if I'm going to fight, I don't want to get hit and break my teeth. So I'm trying to do that, okay? And I drop my teeth in there. And he poked that shotgun in my mouth. Nigga, I'd like to blow your fucking head off. I'm sitting in this alley, a dark alley, 10, 11, 12 at night, with a shotgun in my mouth from the sheriff department. You think I wasn't scared of them? You think they didn't put the fear of God in me?
Sitting reminiscing